did my PhD at Queen Mary University of London, where I studied the promotion of and resistance to LGBT equality in Serbia's EU accession process. In my PhD thesis, I start from the observation that in recent years LGBT rights have developed in this sort of a litmus test for what it means to be modern, and the EU has been very active in promoting LGBT rights in the accession process as a way of assessing whether candidate countries are becoming good European countries. But this promotion it's always been met with resistance, and I was really interested in looking at how in Serbia it's this kind of politics of promoting LGBT equality but also resisting. What has it produced in terms of LGBT politics in Serbia? So I started looking from a Europeanization perspective, the EU enlargement, Europeanization kind of literature, which really looks at what's the domestic impact of the EU. And I was frustrated with the literature which tend to take the EU values and this LGBT exceptionalism or like the homo-friendliness of the EU as taken for granted. And I didn't want to reproduce this kind of patterns of hierarchies in thinking about the EU and Europe in general. So I felt I had to rethink Europeanization as a theory or as a theoretical lens to think more through the relations that exist between the EU and candidate countries, and then look really at where does LGBT politics fit in that relation and what does that relation produce in terms of politics domestically and internationally. So then I looked in Serbia in detail. I looked at how the anti-discrimination legislation was adopted and how it's implemented as well. And then also looked at the pride parades, which have started happening since 2001 with a very turbulent history up until 2015. And in my thesis, I really describe how it's through the process and through the negotiations and promotion of a resistance to that LGBT equality has kind of shifted its meaning. Serbia has been able to change the meaning of LGBT rights and how it's performed domestically through these negotiations, which is particularly clear with the Pride parades, where Serbia has really learned how to talk the talk internationally about how do you perform LGBT friendliness by organizing a pride, but at the same time does it so domestically that it reinforces nationalist ideas and homophobic or nationalist ideas which are underpinningly homophobic attitudes. So I argued in my dissertation that Pride Parade is a tactical Europeanization, which is a term I coined to kind of capture a double speak by Serbia, which is at the international level agreeing with this kind of homo-nationalist moment to like really speak to EU's LGBT friendliness, but then domestically promoting or having pride in such a way by securitizing it, so LGBT people become actually quite invisible, or you can only be out there once you are protected by the police. And then also discursively talked about in ways which relies on nationalist and homophobic views. So it's kind of doing the best of both worlds, which the EU has just makes it happen, and it has a lot of political consequences for LGBT activism. Winning the prize has been a validation of my critical standpoint of the EU. Although I'm a very fan of the European Union, I have high hopes for what it could be. I think it's really important that we introduce critical analysis of its so-called norms. It also, part of my PhD was really trying to give a voice to the people, the LGBT people in Serbia and the activists, and really moving beyond institutions. And that, for me, winning the prize really feels like it's an accreditation, and it's speaking to the work and the people I work with and have written about. And yeah, it's just amazing.